Joining us now is congressional candidate for Utah's 4th Congressional District, former NFL player Burgess Owens. So Burgess, we actually talked to you a couple of weeks ago at the beginning of this process, and here we are. It looks like we're at the end of the Senate impeachment trial against President Trump. What's been your reaction so far to what you've seen?
Alex, well, first of all, thanks for the opportunity. I think it's really simple. This has been a sham from the very beginning. I think what we have to recognize is what the left is doing. There's absolutely no shame. There's no idea of what rule of law means. And you've seen that process. And I think it's good for American people to really understand how the left operates. Again, it's not about being fair or trying to find a solution. They literally are afraid that our president will be doing so well that there's no other way to stop him other than try to go this particular route. And I'll say this, Alex, when they finish this, get ready. They'll come with something else. That's just where they are. They never give up. They're tenacious, and they are very, very wrong.
We've already heard some of the Democratic lawmakers say that they won't necessarily accept the findings to this trial because they say that it's not a fair process. And, we've also seen some Republicans split on that end, too. We've seen, for example, Senators Mitt Romney and Susan Collins say that they do want to see new witnesses. And they say not only will it get new information, but it could bring some legitimacy to this trial. Meanwhile, you see other senators, the ones that we're waiting on, like Senator Alexander and Senator Murkowski, saying they don't want to see new witnesses in the trial because they don't even believe in this impeachment to begin with. Would you have liked to see witnesses?
No. This is nothing close to illegitimacy, and I'm very disappointed with any congressman, any senator who understands this process, understands what's been going on. They're not in some kind of vacuum. It's very obvious that the left is not trying to find real solutions or find answers, or they'd be willing to open up to any witnesses. So no, we need to close this down. Let us get back to the work of we the people. I realize that now we can start to focus on the great things our president's been doing, and that's the one thing the left does not want to have happen. They fear so much people getting the news that they will do the propaganda route over and over again to gin up their base, and then, of course, not try to inform them of the good things that's going on at this particular time.
And Senator Mitt Romney, the junior senator from your home state, actually was one of those senators who said that he would like to see new witnesses. Do you think that that is kind of divorced from what the people in Utah actually want?
No question it's divorced from what we want here. And I'll say this, I'm disappointed in anyone who can take a look at what's going on in this country with the hope that's being brought back to jobs, opportunities, education, and for anyone not to applaud that and continue to go down this route along with the Democrats to try to defray from this, it's just someone I can't respect. So no, the Utah base here loves the basic ideas of conservatism. They love the fact of fairness, and they like the people to keep their word. And right now, Senator Romney is not doing either.
And right now, for example, Republicans have control of the upper chamber, but they are hoping in 2020 that they can take control back of the House. That's something that you're looking to do as well, based on your congressional bid, I'm assuming. But so acknowledging that point, would you like to see, for the time being right now, the Senate, since they do have a GOP majority, would you like to see them exercise maybe their oversight authority and maybe bringing in maybe Hunter Biden or someone else, the whistleblower, for example, in a separate investigation outside of an impeachment trial?
Absolutely. Now it's time for us to get the truth. What's the great thing about the last 3 years is we have in place a president who's pulling back the curtain. And it empowers those of us who've always wanted to see aggressively fighting for our country and for the values that we have here. So yes, I think it's time for the truth to come out. And the truth is that we've had some dark things going in the background for quite a long time, whether it be the DOJ or the FBI or all the different things that they've tried to fight against our people. So yes, I think it's time for us to find truth wherever that might lie, and the American people will appreciate that, and we can then move forward and do the things we do best. We do best by just going out and winning.
And speaking of separate investigations, you bring it up right there. We're actually waiting on John Durham's investigation as well. We saw the Horowitz one come out a couple of weeks, if not months ago now, and that found 17, I believe it was, misconduct and abuses in that entire process, but said that there was no political bias, or at least evidence of political bias in that effort. Now a lot of Republicans are saying, well, hold the phone. We're waiting on the Durham investigation now, which could look into more than just those FISA abuses. So that's something that we're also waiting on too. But as we said, there's an upcoming election. You're running for Congress in the state of Utah. What is something that you think Republicans, and especially you in your race, should be focusing on in order to take back the House and really just get into office in general?
I think he is recognizing what we the people want to have happen. And I put it down in really 4 basic tenets. It's so simple to understand what American way is, the conservative values are, and what our founders envisioned our country as being. It's based on head, heart, hands, and home. Education, God, industry, and family. We start focusing on that, having conversations across the aisle with people who love our country about educating our kids, standing up for God, who's made our country the greatest in the history of mankind, putting people to work so they have something called dignity, and then fighting for the family unit. We do that, the American people will come together no matter what side of the aisle they're on, and we can also recognize who the true enemy is. And that's the Marxists and socialists who hates those four tenets. Has been undermining our country for quite a while. It's now time for us to fight back and recognize we have a leader to help us to do that.
And, you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you before I'd let you go. You were on the 1980 championship team with the Oakland Raiders. You've been in the NFL. You know what some of these players are going through this upcoming weekend, of course, with the Super Bowl on Sunday. Speak to us a little bit about what those players are feeling going into that big day.
It is obviously the biggest day of their lifetime, and you never know how it's going to end up. I will say this: I have not been into the X and O's for a long time. I do love teams that adhere or show our American system and our American culture, and that's why the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm just so excited about Andy Reid in particular, because he's put together a team where the guys they're humble, they're hardworking, they have all kind of egos, but some kind of way they still come together and give credit to each other. And that is very refreshing today to see that. So I'm a Kansas City fan because I'm an Andy Reid fan, and I hope they can continue to move forward and have a good end of Sunday for sure.
Yeah, I mean, nothing says America quite like a Super Bowl, right? I mean,
Absolutely.
It goes along with apple pie and everything else. But Burgess Owens, I really appreciate you coming on tonight. Thank you for your insight, and thanks once again for coming on.